You're listening to Affected by Altitude, a Colorado Rockies podcast for and by Rockies fans on Rocky Mountain Rooftop. Thank you for joining us as we discuss all things baseball and Colorado Rockies. Hello and welcome to Affected by Altitude on Rocky Mountain Rooftop, right affiliate of the Fans First Sports Network. We are having a special Rooftop Mingle session today. I'm Evan Lang, with me is Skyler Timmons, and we are joined by a very special guest. Is Colorado Rockies number 2 overall prospect and 2024 first-round draft pick, currently with the Spokane Indians. It's Charlie Condon. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think, Charlie, you've moved up in the world since Dolander's graduated. I think you're moving up into the world as the Rockies' top prospect. So,
that's
awesome,
right. They're gonna adjust that soon. But Charlie, I think I want to start first of all saying just how nice it is to have you back up with Spokane. I know that the last couple months, the end of last season and the start of this one didn't exactly go as planned with the injury that you were nursing last year with Spokane and then getting injured in camp this year. How are you feeling now that you are back with Spokane and ready to play the regular season?
Yeah, I feel great. The wrist break was untimely as far as first game of spring training and things like that. It's always hard when you've had a long off season of good work, really ready to go, and then have a setback like that. It's tough, but got that all healed up, got dialed back in for the season. Feeling 100% now and happy to be healthy out here.
Yeah, I know with that, and I was thinking about this earlier where, obviously after getting drafted, highly touted draft prospect and everything, you want to hit the ground running and put up an amazing season. But unfortunately, just the way the game goes, it can be cruel sometimes. It probably didn't go as you wanted there with Spokane when you first started playing last season. Then with the injury, how is it facing this early adversity kind of helped you in your prep as you begin this first full season of your professional career?
I know I'm far from a finished product as far as development goes. I'd still look back like I was an unrecruited kid out of high school like 3 years ago. And so, it's still, just growing into who I am. And so, yeah, a little bit of a bumpy road there early on, but really not concerned about it at all. Getting back to who I am as a player right now, feel comfortable with the work I've put in this off season and where I'm at right now to have a good year this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you have those early setbacks, because then it kind of can help you build, I guess, strength mentality of like, okay, I'm here, I can take that breather, this type of thing. Is that anything that you've kind of felt in this early part of the not the unconventional start to a career?
I'm really just focused on playing my best baseball today. I'm not really thinking about what happened in the past. As far as I'm concerned, that doesn't do any good for me. So I'm focused on where my feet are right now and looking forward for the rest of this year playing the best baseball I can.
Yeah. And you mentioned, being unrecruited, you end up being a walk-on at the University of Georgia. You turn into this incredibly highly touted prospect, drafted in the top 5 in the MLB draft, and just this incredible power hitter in college. But what has been the biggest difference, the biggest thing you've had to learn going from college ball into professional baseball over the last year and change?
Yeah, just kind of getting used to the schedule of it is a big change. College ball, you got 4 games a week. Out here, you're playing 6 every day except Monday. And so, kind of settling into that routine, getting comfortable with the group of guys out here and the coaching staff out here, and really just being able to get up in the morning and put your best baseball product out on the field every day. You can't take a pitch off, can't take a game off, because they all matter out here. And so, just being able to bring it every single day.
Mm-hmm. And with that, what's kind of your daily process that you go through to help you prep for games on a day-to-day basis?
It's just trying to get locked in for games and things like that. Times like right now, getting my swings in and just making sure my body's ready to go, getting my lifts in, eating right, and just being ready to go at game time.
outside of the general routine stuff, is there anything that you've been particularly working with, either with the Spokane coaching staff or general Rocky staff? I know occasionally Todd Helton tries to get out there to Spokane as well, but any sort of particular things that you've been working on as development goes with the coaching staff?
Yeah, just sticking to my approach, and working on some swing mechanic stuff and tightening some things up. And then yeah, just sticking to who I am. There's mechanical adjustments that you need to tweak on a weekly basis, and just making sure everything's staying tight, but nothing too specifically.
Absolutely.
Now, something I like that I was reading through an interview that you did recently, just talking about rolling with everything. And one guy that you mentioned talking about was hitting behind Jared Thomas, a good buddy of the show here. We've talked to him a couple times. But tell us a little bit more about just your teammates that you're playing with out there in Spokane, and how you've enjoyed being out there in Spokane, like you mentioned, this year and change.
Yeah, it's been great. Jared especially is a good buddy of mine. Spent a lot of time with him since the draft this past summer. And so I've gotten really close with him away from the field, but to kind of get to this on-field experience with him and get to share the field with him and hit behind him in the lineup. It's really easy for this group to grow close together, and get comfortable with each other in the lineup and just kind of grow in that relationship.
How much does helping the team win that championship last year? You can bring that experience with some of the guys that weren't there or just had that taste of it with you. How has that helped you out and the team as a whole?
Yeah, totally. I mean, for me, it's like I got to taste the fruits of victory, really just at the end of the year last year. So I kind of know what this is working towards. From the beginning, I know how much each of those games at the end of the season mattered, and so kind of taking that same approach into these games still early in May. All these games count the same. Gotta get your money's worth on each of these weeks. So just knowing what you're working towards and knowing how important each little play is, each little game is.
Yeah, and not to jump too far ahead into the future, but you've now had this taste of winning with Spokane last year, and you're gonna be climbing up the ranks here, and eventually the goal is, of course, to make your debut with the Colorado Rockies, who are unfortunately in kind of a tough spot right now. Things are not going so hot for the big league team, but it's as one of the top prospects, you're considered one of the bright spots for the future of the organization. And what is something that you think or are looking forward to bringing to the organization as a whole, to sort of not to put everything on your shoulders, of course, because baseball is a team sport, but to be part of what will hopefully lift the Rockies up in this next wave of prospects?
Sure, yeah. I think it comes kind of from the farm system as a whole. I think we've got a really good group of young talent that's experienced some winning down here in the minor league level, and so I think it's really just going to be about bringing that winning culture up to the big leagues. Once this kind of wave of prospects makes it up. Sorry for the background noise there.
No worries.
But you just kind of bringing that culture back. We've got talent all throughout. We've got talent at the big league level. We've got talent coming up through, but it's just about, kind of bringing those good vibes and bringing that good energy of winning baseball and knowing what that's like with each other, and kind of knowing what we're looking for there. So, I plan on being a piece of that, obviously, and just bringing it all the way up to the top with this organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like that, because that's something I think the Rockies have tried to foster over the years. They're preaching that winning culture of building that in the minors. Win in the minors, then hopefully that will translate to the big leagues. And I think Spokane's proven to be a really good spot for that. Of course, last year, and then this season as well, hoping to redeem that or return back to that championship. Now, Charlie, as some of that, how do you see yourself as a leader in the clubhouse? Is that something that that approach to leadership with that pedigree you have? Are you kind of a little bit more of the rah-rah type of guy? Or are you kind of the more reserved, a little bit quieter behind the scenes approach to leadership?
Yeah, I think leadership is something that can be done in a handful of ways. Obviously, I wouldn't say I'm the rah guy. I'd say I'm more of the lead by example and try to grow close to make that connection with guys. Being a guy that my teammates can trust, whether it be stuff on the field or away from the field. I want to be the guy that's there for people, and I think that's kind of where my leadership comes from is just creating strong relationships with guys. And it's not really about giving the big motivational speech in the locker room before the game. It's not getting guys ready to run through a wall. It's like knowing that, hey man, if I need somebody, I know he's going to be there for me. And then that goes a long way away from the field, but it also goes a long way on the field. Being a guy that guys can count on in the big spot, and also being a guy that guys can count on if someone doesn't come through. Just being there for your guys. That's the biggest kind of leadership I like to promote.
Awesome.
And the last sort of team leader for this organization was another gentleman named Charlie from the state of Georgia. I'm wondering if you've had any interactions with Charlie Blackman, who's now a special assistant to the general manager for the organization, since joining the team last year.
Yeah, Charlie actually came out and spent a decent amount of time with us during spring training, which was nice of him because he did not need to do that. But he's taken that role and he's really active with a lot of the minor league guys during spring training. Just standing behind the turtle during BP, talking shop with him, talking hitting with him, and then also just talking life with him. He's a really good dude, really good leader, kind of in a similar way that I had just talked about. You can tell he cares for his guys, and he cares for the organization. He wants to win. And so, just growing close to a guy like that, seeing how he did it all the way through the top of this organization and really was a leader for so long. Got a lot of respect for that dude and hope to spend more time with him here as I grow older too.
It's awesome. Well, Charlie, as we're running a little time running out of time here with you, but we always like to ask a couple of more less baseball associated questions a little bit. But this one is baseball related. Who was your guy growing up? Who was the guy you're watching baseball as a kid? Who was your guy that you wanted to be growing up?
Chipper Jones was a big one, just being in the Atlanta area, watching the Braves, and then Freddie as well, Freddie Freeman. As I kind of grew into more of a corner infield power hitting role, always had a ton of respect for that dude, how he plays the game, but also who he is as a person, and as a dad and as a family member, all that stuff. Seems like a class act. I've yet to meet him in person, but I've got a ton of respect for him and how he plays the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's tough for Freddie because he, of course, became a Los Angeles Dodger. Who the Rockies famously don't get along with, but you can't help but like the guy because of who he is both on and off the field. Another question we like to ask people, desert island situation. I know it's early in the season. Who on your team, who in your clubhouse are you going to turn to increase your chances of survival?
Cole Messina. Another Southern dude. I think he knows his way around a rifle, and I think that might come in handy. He's a good dude. Keep your head on straight, and that's my guy.
There you go. Got to always trust the catcher.
Yeah, no doubt.
Something I was thinking about. You're out there in the Pacific Northwest with Spokane. What is a dish from back home that you just wish you could go out and get right now? Out there in Spokane that you can't?
Oh man, that's tough. Really, Waffle House in general. There's more Waffle Houses in the state of Georgia than there is in the rest of the country combined. And so you've got one on just about every other corner, but I don't even know if they've got them out here. But if I had to pick one thing, I think a good Waffle House All-Star Special would be up there.
I know we've got a smattering of them here in Colorado, but I have no idea if they've got any up there in Washington.
I haven't seen them. I know they got IHOP, but it's not the same.
It's not.
Few and far in between, yeah. I was expecting you to say something like some barbecue or something, but Waffle House, I like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that taste of home.
Absolutely.
It's like all the Californians with their In-N-Out.
Right.
Alrighty. Well, Charlie, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute delight to have you on the show. Once again, this is Spokane Indians outfielder, Colorado Rockies top prospect, Charlie Condon, joining with us today. He is about to go get some time before he can get ready for tonight's game against the Tri-City Dust Devils. Hopefully a win. Charlie, best of luck the rest of the way, and we're going to be watching you with great interest.
Appreciate it. Sounds good. I appreciate it, guys.
Alrighty. Thanks again for joining us here on a Rooftop Mingle on Affected by Altitude with Rocky Mountain Rooftop.
This has been Affected by Altitude, a Colorado Rockies podcast with Rocky Mountain Rooftop, a proud affiliate of the Fans First Sports Network. Catch new episodes every Monday on wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Be sure to follow us on YouTube as well for video versions of the show.